When I was a collegiate athlete, I came across this study on sleep that genuinely just kind of changed the way I thought about recovery. And I want to share the key details with you. If you don't want to watch this, here's the kind of spark notes. 6 hours of sleep, really bad. 8 hours, very good. Obviously, right? But the way this study framed it is it just got me. And when I found two more of the recent studies that took this same idea and looked into it even further, I just knew that I wanted to share this with you. And so the original version, it was Dan Duncan. Around 2003, researchers looked at healthy adults, put them into either 4, 6, or 8 hours of sleep per night for 2 weeks. Every day they measured cognitive performance, reaction time, attention, working memory, all of the good stuff. Every day they reported how sleepy they felt as well. So here's what happened. The 6 hour group, they got progressively worse on every single objective throughout those 2 weeks. Reaction time was way slower, attention tanked, memory declined, and by the end of the 2 weeks, they were performing at the level of being awake for 24 hours. It was terrible. And so 6 hours of sleep, really bad. The worse than you think it is. And so here's the part that stuck with me is when researchers asked them how they felt, they said they were completely fine, slightly tired even, maybe, but fine. Their subjective sense of how they were feeling flatlined after the first few days. And so their performance kept getting worse, but they felt completely fine on those 6 hours of sleep. But they were quietly, completely falling apart. And so the 8 hour group, they maintained baseline the whole time, no decline, felt great. But actually, they didn't necessarily report that they felt better than these 6 hours of sleep. And so that's the part that I found really interesting. And so fast forward to these more recent articles that I've read. In 2020, NASA ran a 45 simulated space study mission where the crew members got 5 hours of sleep on weekdays and 8 on the weekends. So the researchers, they straight up concluded that the self-reported tiredness is just not a reliable way to assess how much sleep is lost and how it's affecting you, especially in high-stake environments. And so for me as a collegiate athlete, super important to think about because I was having to do really well at school and perform well on top of that. Fast forward to 2024, a meta-analysis, it pulled together 44 different studies on the topic of sleep, and it confirmed all of these. Even after a single night of restricted sleep, attention is objectively impaired. So that's just 6 hours, you're significantly worse. The big takeaway I want you to think is, what does this mean? The morning is not a trustworthy signal of how well your brain is going to work for the day. You can feel okay and still be significantly impaired. If you convince yourself that you've adapted to 4 hours of sleep, something crazy like 2 hours of sleep, that feeling is real, but the adaptation is all a perception and you are going to suffer. Sleep is one of those things that I really try not to mess around with, and obviously I was not perfect. I know what it's like to be in college. There are some nights where all you can get is 5 hours of sleep. So my name's Bentley. I'm currently studying my doctorate in physical therapy. Follow for more if you found this interesting.